Hey guys, what's up, BC? Coming back at you guys with yet another episode of BC Talks, and this time it is with the co-host of BC Builds, uh, Aladar.
Ba weep grana weep nini bong.
How you doing?
I am doing great. I'm wondering when the next BC build is going to be, though.
I don't know when the next BC build is going to be honest.
That aside, what are we talking about tonight?
Tonight we'll be, we're actually going to start first with a little segment that I want to introduce into this called Figure Appreciation, which means taking a figure from our shelves or tubs, wherever we keep our figures at the moment, and just kind of yanking them out and talking about them real quick to kind of appreciate them for what they are.
Okay.
So if you want to go first, feel free.
My figure is Transformers Prime Deluxe Class Knockout.
Okay. That is your choice for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. Talk about him. What about him is intriguing to you?
Well, I actually forgot how to transform him in the time I haven't messed with him, so rediscovering that was really fun. Very intuitive and deceptive. He starts off really simple when you transform the legs, and then he explodes into something like a first edition transformation with his upper body.
He kind of did do that, didn't he?
Yeah. And then just before the live stream, I discovered he has light piping.
This is Aladar we're talking about, people.
and this is making me feel bad because I never actually got to give him a proper review.
Well, are you done, or do you still got more to say?
If you liked the way Darren Norris did him in Transformers Prime, this is a must-get. Just don't trust the directions when it shows you how to form his chest.
Or his arms.
Yeah. Other than that, I love this guy. So, your underrated figure?
Not underrated. Figure I wish to appreciate. And that is kind of on the same line with yours, but not exactly, would be the Transformers Prime Voyager-sized Breakdown.
And why is he underappreciated?
He's not under... Why we're appreciating him for what he is. Not underappreciated. Yeah.
That means the same thing to me, so anyway.
Anyways, moving on. One thing is to be for certain. This figure takes what we see in the show and completely remakes him as a plastic figure. It's such a well done toy. Sucks that this one was only available in Japan, and this was the one everyone wanted, so it made getting them a friggin' pain in the neck. Which is why a lot of people pretty much gave up on the Prime line.
Breakdown was the sole reason for that?
Not the sole reason, but he was the reason for a lot of people. But not me.
I guess some people just didn't know what importing was.
Or some people were stupid enough to sit there and be like, oh, Hasbro's lying, they're gonna release him. Where's your breakdown, buddy?
Yeah.
But yeah,
where's he at? I want to see.
Another thing that I really feel should be mentioned and appreciated about this figure is the fact that he has a transformation that can rival that of the first edition figures. Like, nice. A figure that is supposed to be within the gimmicky Transformer line from Japan, which is the Orange Micron. I'm seriously convinced that at some point he was supposed to be a first edition. Like there was supposed to be some kind of big comeback with the first edition figures where they released characters like, oh, I don't know, a first edition Voyager size Megatron. So mad at you about that, Hasbro.
That would have been nice.
So mad at you about that, Hasbro. Still very mad at you about that, Hasbro.
Let it go.
But yeah. And the transformation, like I said, the way it flips, compacts, and just turns into this little armored truck is really freaking cool to me. It does things that I seriously wasn't expecting. Granted, my first real experience with this mold was with Orange Micron Swerve. It's a really cool toy. I like the figure for what it is. And yeah, nowadays we actually have figures like the third-party lines, the masterpieces. It's like there are so many other things that kind of push this figure to be kind of left in the shadows. But not for me.
I remember when Knockout first came out, people were calling him crap because how the directions told us to transform him.
Yeah, and then people actually finally really sat down with it and figured out, oh, hey, the directions are done by idiots. And another funny thing is Knockout's companion, Breakdown, didn't get a proper U.S. release, which made
We just got a Cyberverse.
Very angry.
We just got.
Hello?
It's a nice.
You're turning into a robot.
I said we just got a Cyberverse breakdown, which I have the mold as Outback, and even though it's nice, I still say we should have gotten a Voyager.
Yeah, we really should have. Like, even if they would have just, like, done a deluxe, I would have been happy.
Yeah.
Because at least then Hasbro would have given us a proper breakdown, not a dinky little thing that you could barely even call a figure. And yeah, even though I had the Swerve and I futzed with the transformation before, so I knew what I was expecting when I finally got Breakdown, I continuously messed with Breakdown to the point where I almost completely forgot Swerve existed.
That's kind of sad.
It is a little bit, but you know what? I don't care. Fact of the matter is, Breakdown is just, he's such a nice figure. It could have gone through some other tweaks in certain areas. Like I wish the head, like I love the head sculpt. Don't get me wrong, but I wish it was on a better neck joint, so that he'd have more of an actual like twist to the head, and not just this kind of.
And Knockout's head joint leaves a little bit to be desired as well.
Yeah, it does a little bit, but at the same time, he's got way more head movement than Breakdown. So yeah, that's my figure that I felt should have been appreciated,
Very nice.
or I felt deserved a little bit of appreciation for what it was. Now, sticking to the subject, we're going to do Transformers lines that were very underappreciated. That actually means figures that didn't get the love and respect they deserved. Breakdown and Knockout got love and respect that they properly deserved. There's a very clear difference here.
Anyway, what's the first one we're going into?
The first one I feel we should go into, honestly, is rather recent lines, the Combiner Wars line.
That didn't get as much love as it deserved. Really?
Nah, not really. Not a lot of people really enjoyed the Combiner Wars line. Like, well, okay, let's also bear in mind we're a lot easier to please than most others.
Yeah. In fact, I'm easier to please than you are.
And that's saying something because I'm really fucking easy to please.
So, who is the most...
Like... within the Combiner Wars line, there were a lot of people that just, they're spoiled by the third party combiners and such, that they don't appreciate the Combiner Wars for what they are.
And they are fun. But then again, I couldn't afford to get a third party figure, so it'll be miraculous if I manage.
I have quite a few third party figures. I have the Voyager Onslaught from NBC, effect upgrades, and I've got the Protector armor. So it's safe to say yes, I have third party stuff, and even then, I enjoyed the Combiner Wars line. Why? Because it was an officially licensed Hasbro combiner. That's something we haven't had in so long.
It wasn't a redo of Energon Superion, that is.
Exactly. You know, like I said, these are things that just don't get the respect and love that they deserve. And I know a lot of people are going to argue with me on this, but let's... Hasbro with the Combiner Wars line really knocked it out of the park with some of these. Mm-hmm. I'll admit this. Menasor, despite the fact that he is my all-time favorite Decepticon combiner, I will openly admit he's garbage.
But
Superion was not. Superion spoils you with this line because he's so well done.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I swear on my life, I think Hasbro knew they were going to drop the ball with Menasor, so they kind of perked up Superion to kind of be like, hey, look, we still did something, right?
Although, let's be honest, they shouldn't have to do that.
They shouldn't have to, but at the same time, you can clearly tell us what they did. And then, with, and another good example is Defensor. He's a great combiner, but let's be real here. Let's be real. Even with your bias towards him, he had some issues.
Especially my copy of Hotspot.
Yeah, your copy of Hotspot was more of a dud. But even then, bearing that in mind, the fully completed combiner, especially if you ended up getting the deluxe groove, which, damn you, everyone. Damn you.
Thanks for making him get him.
When you see the fully completed Defensor, the silhouette is amazing. He's such a good looking figure, but then you pick him up and you play with him and you see he's got a lot of issues.
Shoulders don't stay tapped.
Shoulders don't stay tabbed, the hips come undone. And,
sometimes limbs pop off if you're like me.
Well, that's because you're you. Now, moving on to a character that we all were really looking forward to, Bruticus, who used the Hotspot mold for Onslaught,
Looks
Onslaught
great.
took, Onslaught took all the issues that Hotspot had when he was in his torso mode, and not only fixed them, but improved upon the torso to just push him towards being the superior version of the mold.
So between Hotspot and Onslaught, if you were to recommend either one to someone who is unfamiliar with Transformers, who would you recommend first?
Honestly, I would say, like, if I were to introduce somebody to the Combiner Wars line, period, I would show them Superion first.
I said between Onslaught and Hotspot.
Between Superion and Hotspot.
Oh, Onslaught and Hotspot.
Onslaught and Hotspot? See, I can't really do that because if I'm going to show them in general, I'm going to want to go back to other lines, not Combiner Wars. Like, Combiner Wars is something I'd want to show them later.
Yeah.
Like, if they got into it and decided to do more research and discover combiners, and they were like, hey, here's combiners, which one would you recommend of this toy line? And they show me Combiner Wars, I'm just going to be like, try out Superion first. And if they end up really liking Superion, then I just let them futz with everything else. And if they didn't end up liking Superion, then hey, guess what? They're not going to like combiners all that much. At least as far as the Combiner Wars go.
Fair enough.
But yeah, bearing all this in mind, between the two, you could clearly tell the improvements, the superior look. Onslaught took the freaking fandom by storm because not a lot of people expected Onslaught to be as good as he was. And then Victorion comes out, which makes a lot of people scratch their heads because she's our first female combiner, and yet the torso unit they used was Hotspot, which once again, scratching of the head. And
now, I want to ask this? Okay, was Pyromagna fixed from Hotspot? Like, did she have the same issues?
while she fixed some issues, she brought new ones to the surface.
Oh,
That's where I feel Victorion suffered the most. She tried so hard, but honestly, once you get past those issues in itself, the figure for Victorion, how it's got a unified color scheme, is not bad at all.
even if the color scheme does look a little strange.
It is a strange looking color scheme.
It's like something out of
But
G2.
honest, like if they would have made all that sea green or whatever the hell type of green you want to call that, if they would have made all that green more of a deep blue, she'd look badass.
Man,
Yeah, now that you're imagining that, you're like, damn, that would look cool.
if I ever get a hold of Victorion period, guess what?
You're gonna do it?
My first custom Combiner Wars.
You know what? I might beat you to it and do it myself. Now I want to see that. Now I really want to see it.
Hey, I never said you couldn't do it before me. I'm just saying that's going to be my first CW custom.
Well, if you get it, then have fun.
This is me we're talking about.
But yeah, anyways, moving on.
It's another highly underloved line.
Another highly underloved line, I'm going to have to say, is alternators.
Oh, yeah. I've only gotten a hold of one Alternators figure, but I totally agree.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have two alternators myself, and those two alternators made me go, why the hell didn't this line sell so much? I did a little bit of research, and the reason why is because alternators was a line that was deeply overshadowed by Masterpiece in a sense, because the Masterpiece line took everything that the alternators did, but did it better. If that makes any sense.
Oh, that hurts.
Because I mean, the two alternators I have are Optimus Prime and Nemesis Prime, so that essentially means I got two of the same mold.
Uh-huh.
And whilst playing with these figures, it makes me sad that this line wasn't appreciated the way it should have been.
Wait till you get a hold of Hound.
He may end up standing as my Masterpiece Hound, not gonna lie. That is, unless they end up doing an official Masterpiece Hound. Because fuck the bullshit, I'm not going after a third-party Masterpiece figure. Those things are fucking expensive. Like, way more so than official Masterpieces. Anyways, Masterpieces really just overshadowed alternators to the point where alternators at first were big, but then just kind of dwindled away. And like, it wasn't a slow dwindling; it was like they really quickly just went, "Oh, that was a thing. Oh, okay, moving on." It is really sad because the alternators line has some really good toys. For instance, they took the Mustang GT, or at least I think it was the GT. I don't 100% remember, but they took the Mustang GT and they made Wheeljack out of that.
And Shockwave.
And no, not Shockwave. They took that same mold, did it again, but changed the head and made Grimlock.
Yeah.
Shockwave was a completely different car, but that same mold was used to make, wait for it, Jazz. So a lot of interesting characters and a lot of very interesting like transformation elements were put into these toys, but at the same time I could kind of see why they weren't really all that loved, because these transformations are so difficult and finicky. Like, here, Nemesis is right by me, so I'm gonna pick him up and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna fiddle with him. Because there's another neat little thing that I want to talk about with this. They had a tendency to take the engine block with these characters and make the engine blocks their guns.
I didn't get to experience that bit of engineering. Instead, it was Hound's spare tire.
Well, you see what I'm saying here. They took some of the things on that real world car and reimagined it like, how would the gun form, or like how would these pieces realistically form? Like Optimus's gun. Third party wise, we got the ion cannon from a gas tank, which was freaking genius. But on the actual figure itself, the engine block became a little pistol for them to hold.
Aww.
Which was pretty cool. Problem is, half the time they couldn't really hold these damn things.
That is a bit of a problem.
But once you get it in their hand, it's really very... boom, they got a weapon.
Now, I do gotta wonder something. Based on your previous BC rants on FMG, may it rest in peace, is the Nemesis / Optimus Alternators mold more finicky than Dark of the Moon Sentinel?
No. No. No, not even in the slightest. Don't even get me started. This isn't a BC rants moment.
I just had to wonder.
Which Bearing this in mind, segues into the next line I want to bring up as underappreciated. That being the movie lines.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be real here, guys. I understand the movies, for the most part, are not that great. They could be better, but here's the thing. You guys who are, like, I don't want to go into this. Like, I don't go into this for very obvious reasons. But since it's already been brought up, I'm breaking my silence on this. Guys, seriously, we are 5 movies in. Get the fuck over the fact that it's not 100% what you remember. I can understand it's upsetting that you don't get to see the flat nose, the VW bug, the what?
Porsche 911.
Yeah.
The movie toys are also heavily criticized for supposedly complicated transformations.
Well, also bear in mind, you and I are a very rare breed of we can transform things like Leader Class Optimus Prime from Revenge of the Fallen without their instructions.
Right from the get-go.
Exactly.
But I mean, I have a trick that would help everyone if they would shut up and listen. Find the base of the figure, find the part that doesn't move during transformation, and then find everything that moves around that, and there you go. With that being said, I can honestly call ROTF Leader Prime as simple as G1 Optimus.
I would not go that far.
I will. I'm daring.
Alan, this is why you get hit half the time.
You know what? What is your favorite movie toy?
Revenge of the Fallen Leader Class Optimus Prime. For very personal reasons, but okay, yeah. What are you getting at here?
I just felt that we should list off our favorite ones. My favorite movie toy would have to be ROTF Leader Starscream.
HFTD.
Yeah, Hunt for the Decepticons. I say ROTF, so it's not as much of a mouthful, but yeah, Hunt for the Decepticons Leader Screamer.
So yeah,
he's fun.
He is a fun toy. I actually got to experience that mode. He's great. But yeah.
We get it, though. It's upsetting that Starscream's not the F-15 he was in the 80s, okay? But he works as an F-22.
But here's the thing with that, guys. Boo-hoo, he's not the F-22. Boo-hoo, Megatron wasn't a pistol. For the love of God, be realistic here. That's all I ask of you. Like, you know what? Fuck it. Listen up, G-Winers. Truly tell me how you could have made a Walter P-38 pistol turn into a robot that is 30 feet tall and still have the pistol be held in someone's hand without that looking completely ridiculous on the screen. Go on ahead and
to make it an additional challenge, no mass shifting.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Now I'm feeling daring. Go ahead, tell me. Now, I'm probably going to end up catching a lot of hell for this, but you know what? I don't care. Because, honestly, these are things that just, it works me up. Because I'm getting really sick of it. Because I'm getting really sick of the fan base attacking each other just because of the movies. For fuck's sake, guys. Really?
They're not that great, but they're fun for what they are.
Exactly. And I don't know. I want to try to understand the G-Winers point of view. I really want to try, but they are just unrealistic.
Exactly.
I get it. It's not your child. It's not exactly what you wanted from your childhood. But there are so many things that I could complain about the Power Rangers movie trailer and everything that's going on with the Power Rangers movie that I could just as easily be complaining about, but I'm not. Why? Because I'm willing to accept this new version of Power Rangers. I just hope the movie itself is good. If the movie sucks, yeah, I'm gonna rage a little bit. But am I
Same.
gonna rage about the suits? Am I gonna rage about the monsters? Am I gonna rage about the Zords? No! The way I'm looking at it, it's an updated version of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
With a few tweaks for political correctness.
I'm still super upset about that, but that's my own personal issue. Shut up. You cannot honestly tell me some part of you is upset.
I'm not gonna lie, there is a small twinge. Let's see, what's another underloved line? Oh, something I should say with the movies. Be happy we got a flat-nosed Prime out of that. Seriously, be happy. Sure, he didn't do the whole arms come out of the sides, legs, or the back thing, but you know what? At least we got him. So shut your traps, pissants. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to transform my Mega Class Star Screen, because he's literally right next to me. There we go. And all the while, I'm going to be thinking of another line that's not as loved as it should be. At least until BC comes back. Speak of the Allspark.
Sorry, I had myself muted a little bit. I'm gonna cheat a little bit here and bring up something. Energon.
Yes, Energon does not get a whole lot of love, does it?
No, it doesn't. But honestly, I agree with some of the people on the bandwagon of Energon is crap. Some of those figures I can definitely agree, but there were some figures out of that line that, let's face it, were fan-fucking-tastic.
Such as Omega Supreme.
Yes, definitely Omega. Nothing I want.
Unicron, even though he was technically the original Armada.
Yeah, that's definitely another one.
Let's see. Wing Saber.
I'm 50-50 on that one.
Okay, how about Jetfire?
Jetfire was okay.
There's another really good figure. Ironhide.
Actually, Actually, there are other figures and specifics that I feel should be brought up.
Such as?
One. Energon Starscream.
Ooh.
Yes. Ooh, indeed. That one was a very good figure. And by the way, the entire time I was talking, even throughout the alternators rant, I just finished transforming my alternators Nemesis. So, yeah. I think that should be mentioned, but that aside.
Sharkticon was another good one.
Sharkticon, yes. But here's another one that I'm pretty sure not a lot of people remember. That being Slugslinger.
Ooh.
Let's be real here, people. He's a good toy.
Yeah. He is. He really is.
You know, yeah.
Energon Demolisher wasn't too terrible.
Yeah, Demolisher was pretty good too. Like, I noticed that a lot of the Decepticon figures were actually really good, but the Autobots were. Which is why I'm very hesitant to really give any of the other figures from the Energon line any real credit because they just don't warrant it, to be honest.
At least they weren't on the level of Beast Machine Supreme Cheetor. Or dare I say ROTF Demolisher.
But yeah. You guys get what I'm saying at this point. There are some toy lines that I will openly admit are crap. I'm not stupid. I've been doing this for years. I know what a good toy is, I know what a bad toy is. And a bad toy is a bad toy. No matter how much anybody tries to convince you otherwise. If you feel it's bad, it's bad. I full well get that. But here's the thing. Just because you feel it's bad doesn't mean you need to tell other people it's bad. Because what if they end up looking at it and going, oh, this is actually pretty cool? That's their opinion.
No need to take a pitchfork to them for it.
Exactly. It's like, say for example, Alan came to me and said, hey Josh, I finally futzed with Transformers Prime Deluxe Arachnid, and I happen to really like that toy. That's an instant where I will share with him my opinion on the fact that it's fucking garbage.
I find something to like in every Transformer I get a hold of, so even if I think she's a piece of crap, I'll still look for something to like about her.
There's... Just don't bother. Just trust me, don't bother.
Is that a challenge?
You know what? When we meet up for the very first time, I'll bring her with me and I'll let you fuss with her. And if you find anything at all that's good about her, I'll let you have her.
Nice!
I'm that much convinced. Boy.
Although, on the real, I never even really had an intention to get her in the first place. So, finding something to like a figure I never even wanted would be very interesting for me. And getting her for free to boot, nice!
I never said you were getting her for free.
I'm not.
No, you're not.
You'd think the torture of trying to find something good about her would be enough.
Exactly.
There was another toy line we were going to bring up. Car robots.
Oh, God, the many good toys that were actually in that no one has any appreciation for.
The Autobot brothers.
What's one of them? Oh, I know. Ultra Magnus, Optimus Prime, the
Sideburn.
fucking Autobot brothers.
Yeah.
No, not just Sideburn, the Autobot brothers in general. I don't give a shit what anyone has to say. The Autobot brothers are phenomenal figures.
Mm-hmm.
They are a perfect mix of clever transformation, awesome looking vehicles, fantastic looking robots, and great articulation.
Oh, yeah.
There was almost no pose I couldn't put those figures into. And it makes me sad that figures like, oh, I don't know, Titans Returns Highbrow? Highbrow wouldn't be able to get half of the poses that X-Brawn could get into.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
X-Brawn was so emotive, so, like, each one, like, every RID figure so in that line, aside from the ones that were very clear G1 and G2 repaints, had some form of fucking flair to them, where they had all this articulation, where they could get all these awesome looking poses. It's like, these are great figures.
You missed a line that got repainted in RID. You missed Beast Wars, possibly Beast Machines.
You get what I mean, though.
Going into that, though, Skybite's a fantastic repaint of Cyber Shark.
Yes, agreed. Skybite really is a fantastic repaint of him.
And you get into figures like RID Megatron. Sure, the hand mode was ridiculous, but come on, where else are you going to find a 10 changing Megatron?
Exactly, and once again, take Combining Wars Megatron. Take Combining Wars Megatron, compare him to the Robots in the Skies Megatron. I love that Combining Wars Megatron to death, don't get me wrong, but if I was going to choose between these two, RID all the way. Why? Superior articulation, superior look, a shit ton of transformations I could go on.
Although I do gotta say, the fan modes add to it.
Fan modes add to it. And I mean, come on. Guys, seriously. Can you honestly tell me that some part of you doesn't want a figure that can turn into a hand?
I admit I do.
The fact that he has a hand mode.
Fucking hand mode.
Turns into a hand. Some part of you cannot honestly tell me that you don't think him having a hand mode isn't ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. But the fact that the figure has it makes you proud. Because it literally makes you think, oh damn, they done did it.
And wait, what's even more funny? He actually used it in the show.
Yes.
He actually used it. So kudos to Takara for that one. Actually, that wasn't Takara, that was Saban.
Yeah.
I wondered why RID felt Power Rangers E to me.
Yeah. It did feel a little Power Ranger-y. Just a little bit, though.
Does it detract from it? Hell no. Not by a long shot. I mean, crap, you got stuff like the Spy Changers. Those little dudes were fun. You launch them across your Hot Wheels tracks, guess what? Even more fun.
Exactly. It's so fun.
Like I spent the betterment of my lifetime wondering why there weren't more Hot Wheel sized Transformers, because that is like the ultimate thing there. But at the same time, I look at figures like Knockout and Starscream and appreciate them because they're freaking fun.
Exactly. And that's another thing that the robots in disguise does over fucking half the fucking toys now. The robots in disguise figures, they're older, and yet when I pick them up and fiddle with them, they are twice as fun as the Titans Return figures. And bear in mind, Titans Return has been knocking it out of the park. I like the Titans Return figures, but I find myself within just like 20 minutes of futzing with one figure just bored with it. So whereas robots in disguise figures, I could be sitting there futzing with them for hours on end and still be entertained by them.
Forming Omega Prime for that long, that's got to be fun.
I still have yet to really get. That's one I have yet to get back.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, bearing all this in mind, y'all get the picture at this point.
Appreciate the old and the new.
Exactly. No, not appreciate the old and the new. Appreciate the figures, period. That's what I'm trying to get at here. That's why I wanted to bring this up. There are figures from way back when that so many people don't even realize exist.
Armada Smokescreen.
And hell, my reasoning for getting the Alternator, Optimus, and Nemesis, I didn't initially care about the Nemesis, but I got it anyway. Why? It was in a lot with the Alternator's Optimus, and Alternator's Optimus turned into the Dodge Dakota. And the reason why this is so significant to me is because the Dodge Dakota was my father's truck when I was a kid, and it was that exact same color.
So you have your dad's truck as a Transformer.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
That's just awesome, dude.
yeah. With all this said, is there anything you want to bring up that, like, at this point, I feel we should go more into the newer stuff now.
RID 2015. There are some gems in it.
Yes, but honestly, those gems are within one part of the toy line.
The Warrior class.
The Warrior class, exactly.
Or to yours and mine, the Deluxe. For example, Grimlock. There's another toy line I think really gets overshadowed. The War for and Fall of Cybertron lines.
Except for the fact that those were considered generations.
They were part of the Generations line, yeah, but them coming from the games kind of gets overshadowed by what line they're in. But back to RID, what's another gem you found? If you can hear me at all.
I can hear you, just taking a second to reply to text.
Because we're professionals, people.
But yeah. One of the figures from the Robots in Disguise Warrior line that really took me by surprise was Strong Arm. Strong Arm from the Warrior line really knocked it out of the park. I was not expecting her to be very good at all. And another figure that I really thought was going to be kind of bad was Scorponok. Because Scorponok, he has his issues, but those issues aren't present enough to make me want to go, why?
Not like Steeljaw. Savor the daylight.
Because I'm a really bad fucking toy.
What if we got an RID 2015 Warrior Ironhide?
Warrior 2015 Ironhide. How about no?
You know what would make me laugh my ass off?
What?
If they re-release the Arms Micron Ironhide into the RID line under that.
You lost me.
I said, what if they re-release the Arms Micron Ironhide into the RID line calling him Warrior Ironhide?
I'd be a little surprised. I'm not gonna lie.
That would just make me laugh my ass off. What's something else, though? Beast Machines doesn't get a whole lot of love in terms of toy line.
For a very good reason.
Machine Wars.
Honestly, though, I feel this is a point where we can honestly end the show. But you know what? Fuck it, why not? Let's talk about Machine Wars for a little bit.
Sure, they're all repaints, but they're still fun. Starscream, Optimus, Megatron.
The list goes on and on.
Uh-huh.
Really
repaints they may be.
Yeah, repaints they may be, but wow, some of them are really good.
Now, one of them was good enough to become a BotCon figure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm extremely excited about that.
Good luck getting it.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, I feel this is a really good point where we can end the show.
Yeah.
So, Alan, is there anything else you wanted to bring up?
Do channel announcements count?
What?
Do channel announcements count?
Yes.
I'm going to be experimenting with something on my gaming channel for the next few weeks, which BC has volunteered to take a huge part in, somewhat. So my walkthrough videos are going to be a little bit sparse while I'm trying this out. But if things don't blow up over the way I'm hoping they do, trust me, they'll come back. Okay? But for a few weeks, it's going to be nothing but just game reviews. Just to see how that works. And as for my main
Okay.
channel, I have no idea when my next toy review is going to be. I don't have a working video camera. So all I can really do is rescores. All of that aside, is there any announcements for your channel?
One that I feel you're gonna cream your pants once I speak up about it.
Okay.
Evolution starts filming next week.
Woo!
Stick with that as you will. Anyways, guys, that is about it. I don't know if you'd like to do your sign out.
Hello, I won.
I didn't say Rex, you fuck.
I don't care. I couldn't help it. Seriously, though. Till all are one, always remember that sometimes the smallest things can make the biggest changes of all.
This is BC saying stay dirty and get your geek on. I'll catch you guys next time.
Later.
Bye.